All right, let's get into a really wild thought experiment. What would actually happen if our moon, our constant companion up there in the night sky, just vanished? I don't mean drifted away or exploded, just 1 second it's there, the next, poof, it's gone.
So, the very first thing you'd notice, of course, would be the dark, a profoundly darker night. But that quiet, inky blackness, that's just the very beginning of a planet-wide unraveling that would change pretty much everything we know about our world.
And that's really the key here. The moon's disappearance wouldn't just be one single isolated event. Nope, it'd be like the first domino in a massive planetary chain reaction, one that would completely reshape our oceans, our climate, and life itself.
Okay, so let's start with the most immediate change, the one we would all notice on that very first, very strange moonless night.
That familiar soft glow that has guided life for, well, eons, from early humans to nocturnal animals, would just be gone, in an instant. The night would suddenly feel, well, alien and unnervingly empty.
And the scale of the light we'd lose is just staggering. Get this. A full moon is 400,000 times brighter than the next brightest object in the night sky, which is Venus. Sure, the Milky Way would look absolutely incredible, but for most of Earth's creatures, that sudden deep darkness would be completely and utterly disorienting.
And that new, deep darkness, it would throw countless nocturnal species into total chaos. We're talking about ancient biological programming, honed over millions of years, just broken overnight. Migration, hunting, reproduction, all of it would be completely thrown off.
So while the sky is changing, something even bigger and, honestly, more catastrophic would be starting in our planet's oceans. The familiar, reliable rhythm of the tides would begin to fade away. Now, the sun does have its own gravitational pull, but it's much, much weaker. It creates tides that are only about a third as strong as the moon's. Without our moon, the ocean's very pulse, its breath really, would weaken dramatically, and that would trigger an almost immediate ecological disaster right along our coastlines. Just think about those vital coastal ecosystems like mangrove forests and tidal flats. These are the nurseries for countless marine species, and they protect our coasts. But here's the thing, they completely depend on that daily ebb and flow of the tides for oxygen and nutrients. Without it, they would just stagnate, suffocate, and die off. But the effects wouldn't just stop at the shoreline. Over the long term, a much more profound change would begin to take hold. The destabilization of the entire planet. The whole reason we have predictable seasons, summer, autumn, winter, spring, is because of Earth's 23.5-degree tilt on its axis. And the moon? Well, the moon is the primary reason that tilt is so incredibly stable. It basically acts like a massive gyroscopic anchor, holding our planet steady as we spin through space.
For literally millennia, our planet has been held steady right here, at this angle. And it's this stability that has allowed complex life to evolve and thrive in a relatively predictable climate. But take away the moon, and little gravitational nudges from planets like Jupiter and the Sun would send our axis wobbling wildly over thousands of years. We could tilt to almost zero, which would get rid of seasons altogether, or lurch way over to 60 degrees or even more.
I mean, just imagine the Arctic becoming a balmy, temperate ocean for part of the year, then plunging right back into an extreme deep freeze. Climate predictability would just collapse. This would force entire biomes and any humans who might have survived to become permanent nomads, constantly chasing after habitable zones.
And believe it or not, the moon's influence goes even deeper. Beyond just stabilizing our climate, it's been performing several other critical jobs that most of us don't even think about.
So, there are three really critical, often overlooked roles it plays. First, it's a cosmic shield. It literally takes hits for us from asteroids that might otherwise be headed our way. Second, it's acted as a planetary brake. Billions of years ago, a day on Earth was only about 5 hours long. The moon's gravity created tidal friction that has slowly braked our rotation to the 24 hours we know today. And finally, its gentle gravitational pull literally flexes our planet's crust. It's like a constant, slow squeeze on a stress ball, and that actually influences geological activity deep inside the Earth.
And for our last point, we're going to move from the physical to the personal, because the final consequence we'd feel isn't one of physics or geology, it's one that would echo deep within humanity itself.
For just about every civilization throughout all of history, the moon has been a clock, a calendar, a deity, a muse for poets. Its predictable phases gave us the very concept of a month. Its absence would just leave this unfillable hole in our myths, our language, and our collective human culture.
Ultimately, the moon's disappearance is a stark reminder of just how interconnected and fragile our planet's balance really is. Its loss would leave us on a planet that's still spinning, sure, but one that is fundamentally lonelier, darker, and way more chaotic. It would be a world that has lost the steady rhythm that shaped life as we know it. It really makes you wonder, what other cosmic partnerships are we taking for granted every single day?